Good morning, Panther
Dun, dun,
fans.
dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
would like to thank the Panthers for one thing. They made my morning very, very easy. All I had to do was change the one number on the date and change Bruins 4 Panthers to Bruins 6. All I had to do was change two numbers for the banner this morning. So, in that sense, it's a good morning.
How do you play taps again?
Ah, man, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Why don't you sing Cardi B WAP for us? That should go over well. I got no. Look, it was like a repeat. Okay, minus minus the empty net goals. It was basically we gave up an early goal that really kind of wasn't great, and we fought back, and then we gave up a late goal that kind of wasn't great that broke our back. Different goalie, same result.
Yeah, well, the different goalie was one of the big reasons we lost. Because the
Yeah,
fucking goalie doesn't know how to hold on to a freaking rebound.
he is rusty. He is definitely rusty. He definitely
And
wasn't pissed.
did we think anything was going to be different? Did we think Bob was going to come in there and play like shutdown hockey? Guy hasn't played in fucking over a month.
Right,
I'm pissed, man. But it wasn't all Bob.
right.
Okay? So I'm just going to say this. Somebody put out a tweet last night about getting rid of the following: Aaron Ekblad,
Mm-hmm.
Baba Brewski,
Bubba.
and Alexander Barkov. So
Now,
I am now turning to my good friend Jaws Stradamus, and I'd like to get some type of realistic scenario how we can dump those three freaking large contracts and rebuild this team without guys that are not going to get it done for us.
so I talked a lot about that in the recap. I do believe, and let me get it out, because I'll talk about Barkov first.
I'm
I
all ears.
I do still believe that he can be a piece. The problem is we are depending on him to be the wrong piece. Bennett is 1C. We'll just start there. In terms of Ekblad and Bob, I mean, if you can find somebody who still believes in Ekblad, if you can find somebody who still believes in Ekblad, you might be able, because Zito's good, you might be able to sell them, hey, take Bob and we'll give you Ekblad. If you can find somebody that feels that the level of play he's going to give them for however much longer is worth it. Now, finding a team with that much cap space could be damn near next to impossible, and probably is. So that could be pipe dream number one. The, I I talked about it last night, but these contracts, this is still Dale Talon, and I'm not going to blame it all on Dale, because the Panthers, this goes all the way back to the deep dark years. Okay, follow me, guys. This goes all the way back because we were so bad for so long, and we treated players like shit for so long, that the only way we could get guys like Ekblad to sign, Barkov to sign, Bob to come, is to give them no move clauses. So this goes all the way back to even before Talon. We're still paying for the price, and Stu's taking off his hat, so I know he agrees. We're still paying that price, and as you saw with the Yandel thing, we're still paying the price of bad management of this franchise 15, 20 years ago. I don't have a scenario. I mean, Bob's a separate thing. Ekblad, I think you could maybe move on from Ekblad this offseason. But when you look at Paul Maurice, if Maurice and Zito get into a room and they discussed those, let's say that they were discussing those three players, I suspect the only one that they would attempt to move on from is Bob. That would be my take. I think Maurice likes Ekblad. I don't think Maurice is going to get rid of Barkov, but I think they both might be willing to get rid of Bob, pending. We don't know. We're not in the room. What's going on with Spencer Knight? Because remember, we paying him 4.5 starting next year. People are so excited about losing the Yandel hit. We gave Spencer Knight most of the Yandel money back.
Now, Adam was telling me if Knight doesn't come back related to this medical thing, we're not on the hook for the cap.
No. It's just then you start watching Buffalo and waving hi to Devon Levy.
Yeah, there are some people at the time that said we should have kept him and traded Knight.
There were people that said that.
I remember that.
Matt Guzda is 8.5 feet tall.
What's that?
I said Matt Guzda is 8.5 feet tall, so maybe there's that.
I mean, listen, Ekblad's hurt again.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, if I'm, Maurice and Zito, I keep him out. What's the point of playing him? If it's head related, and I think it is.
I don't see how it could be if he was a game time decision. I don't see how it could be head related. I mean, you either got a concussion or not. You're either ready or not.
True.
I think he might have been his neck.
Damaged goods. He's it's like you're almost waiting for the next shoe to drop.
Right.
I mean, that's why same thing with Yandel. Never wanted to go in the corners and mix it up because he was afraid of losing his Ironman streak.
Well, I'll give Ekblad credit for still trying to play the way hockey players should play. You know what I mean?
But
I mean, you and I both know it's not your fault what your body does to you. You know what I mean?
I mean, there are guys to replace him. We could go. Life could go on without him. Bob is definitely, the 900-pound gorilla that.
Yeah.
I don't even see how that gets done. I mean, does it get done? We retain half his salary, of course. Who's going to take him though?
Well, somebody take him for half. That's what he's worth is $5 million a year.
And I know, there's going to be some people out there that like, Stu, you're insane. But I mean, come on, 4 playoff years in a row.
Right.
And our captain does not lead us. I made a big point. Okay, so for those that don't know, the other night, Braden Point got checked into the boards by Riley.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a dirty, like he didn't get cross-checked in the numbers and hit his head on the boards. He just fell bad, and it was fast, and it was hard. But Steven Stamkos right away, and I don't even think it was with Riley. I think it was, no,
he went after Matthews.
Something happened. There was an exchange between him and Austin Matthews.
Right.
And Matthews must have said something to the effect, and I have no idea what was said.
Right.
But come on, you pussy. It wasn't a penalty, whatever. And Stamkos just went apeshit on Matthews.
Yeah.
That's a leader.
Agreed.
And Matthews mixed it up with him. That's a leader.
Right.
Did you ever think that Alexander Barkov would do something like that?
No.
We know Chuck E. Cheese would do it in a split second, and he did yesterday. Yeah. I mean, there were 3 guys that ganged up on him, including Allmark, and it took like 5 seconds for the Panthers to realize that this kid was all by himself getting manhandled. And you see Montour and Bennett raced in there and kind of rescued him, but the damage was done. I mean, that's so what I'm saying is, as great a player as Barkov is when he wants to be, he's totally ineffective in the playoffs. They have him figured out.
It's
You put 2
amazing.
men on Barkov, he falls like a freaking house of
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
listen, as far as I'm concerned, he's another $10 million guy. As far as I'm concerned, I would not be opposed to trading him. I mean, we've won without him. He's been
right.
hurt. He's also hurt every year. So I mean, let's just we're doing this video with the assumption that the Panthers are not coming back against Boston. So for all intents and purposes, this is like the mourning, the grieving, the whatever.
You know they're going to win Game 5, right?
Of course they are.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Everybody knows they're going to win Game 5.
Yeah, man. Maybe they'll win Game 6, or they'll go to Game 7 and get shellacked. It doesn't matter. For all intents and purposes, this series was lost.
If this team wins 3 straight and wins this series, I will take a razor and on a live stream shave my entire body.
Yeah, well,
that's how confident I am.
Big whoop.
Like, now you haven't seen me without a shirt on. It is a big
really
whoop. We could be here all night, okay?
Give me something more than that, Eric. All right. More than that. I'll grow a whole head of hair. How's that?
Yeah, I don't think you can grow a whole head of hair. I don't think between the two of us we could grow a whole head of hair.
This was
I'll color the beard. I will color the beard. How about this? If we come back and win, I will color the beard whatever color of the hair it is of the guy that scores the game-winning goal. Green? Bro.
You said you'll color any color.
I did you to let me finish as usual. I said I'll color it whatever color is the guy who scores the winning goal, whatever hair color his hair is, I will color the beard that color.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully it's Kachuk.
I mean, I'll just sum it up in one word. Yesterday's performance. Pathetic. That's not a team that's facing, let's face it, facing elimination.
I know.
They had to tie the series up, and they didn't get it done. Look, not only did they didn't get it done, they got embarrassed in their own building.
All of the things you can't do, we're doing. You can't give up the first goal. You can't take stupid penalties by coming up and cross-checking dudes after the whistle is over, the period's over, and taking penalties.
What about the penalty by Montour? That cross.
I know. Just like in the middle, just like, what is he doing?
I mean, that's just, I mean, how many games this year did we shoot ourselves in the foot with?
Right.
I mean, that one game in Toronto, we got sorry. Granted, the referees were atrocious yesterday. The Bruins got away with so much.
Man, I don't care.
And we got called on everything, which they should have known better. I don't know, this TJ Luxmore, is that the referee? I asked you that.
He's not the one that has a problem with Maurice. He's the one who typically when we play against him, there's a lot of complaints by Panther fans because he does. And I want to preface this by telling any Bruins fans watching this, I ain't blaming yesterday on the refs. TJ Luxmore and the Panthers, that's a separate issue from what happened yesterday on the ice. He just has. Did you see the Maurice explanation for the goal?
Good time. Keep talking because the garbage truck is Monday morning.
So the Maurice explanation for the first. The Maurice explanation. I'm going to mute him. Hold on a second. All right, I muted him. You're muted, Stu. So give us the thumbs up when you're ready. I muted you. Okay, so. The Maurice explanation, this is what the referees told him. The referees told him that they did blow the whistle, but after conferring, the referees got together and said, well, we really shouldn't have blown the whistle, so it's a good goal. That's directly from Maurice's mouth. What the referees told him is like, yeah, we blew the whistle, but oopsies, our bad. We shouldn't have blown it, so it's a good goal. That, I'm not saying that's why we lost, But explain to me, had anybody ever heard that one before? I've heard the whistle blew, so tough shit. I've heard that, but I've never heard them say, "Yeah, we blew the whistle, but we didn't really mean to." Whoopsies. I mean, we blew it, we meant to, but it shouldn't have. Is what they told Maurice. They specifically said, "Yes, we blew a whistle, but we were wrong to blow the whistle, so it's a good goal." Are you good yet, Stu?
But I'll just
Yeah,
say,
no, it's better. For a second there, I couldn't even hear me, but
yeah,
you're
what I
good
was
now.
gonna say was they'll be passing the other way in a minute. But listen, that puck was free.
Yeah,
Marchand jumped on it and scored a goal.
right.
But the whistle either
I mean, the
should have
whistle
been
blew.
blown or blown. But there's just like the other night. Um,
Well, it's the
we,
opposite.
we, we wouldn't have
Opposite of
got,
the
we wouldn't have gotten that break. All right,
right.
we've never got a. How many times have they blown the whistle too fast when we're around the puck? The bottom line is Bobrovsky should have fucking held
Wait,
that.
timeout on that because I thought the same thing in his post-game press conference. Bob said that his teammates, he said somebody on the Panthers said, "I've got it." So Bob stood still because somebody on the Panthers told him that they had the puck. So I'm not going to blame that on Bob because he said when somebody says they have the puck, I'm just going to stand still. So no, I don't move. So that was somebody else.
Well, the
I
closest
can't.
guy to him was Gudis.
Right. That wasn't on Bob. He stood still because his teammates told him to stand still.
Yeah, but if he doesn't give up a rebound, Eric, if he swallows it up,
Yes.
there's no continuance of play.
I mean, I get it. I get it. Look, you know me. I'm not going to be the biggest one to stick up for Bob, but the
There were two other rebounds that they scored on.
well, it was the fourth one. It was the backbreaker. And I mean, on one hand, you could say Bob's got to get that with his glove, but it ain't like I got confidence in Alex Lyon to get that with his glove either. So,
Listen, we we we
I
we,
mean,
we kind of knew that Maurice was going to go to Bob,
mhm.
and the big question was how rusty was he going to be?
Just rusty enough.
Just rusty enough.
Just rusty enough. Look, even the guys on TNT after about the second period was like, or midway through the first period, excuse me, were mentioning because I had talked about it on the stream. They were mentioning that he's having a little trouble handling the puck. He's not sharp, right? Instead of stopping the play, it's like he's not handling the puck, and that's rust. Um, Man, but that ain't why we lost. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Look, I said this on the recap. We could nitpick all of the little things, but we're playing in the playoffs with a third line with Anton Lundell, Ryan Lomberg, and Zach Dalpe. And we could bitch about Bob and bitch about Maurice, but there ain't no coach in the NHL that can make Ryan Lomberg and Zach Dalpe third line NHL playoff caliber players.
Yeah,
It's just not the roster is just not strong enough.
that is
And
correct.
and it's not like Maurice is sitting somebody that we could say, hey, put it. I mean, there's nobody. There's nobody. Now, the one complaint I did have pregame was them putting in Fitzgerald for Carlson. Of course, there's no way for me to know how Carlson would have done, but Fitzgerald got absolutely walked on the penalty kill that helped lead to that second goal, I believe it
Yeah,
was.
well, Carlson only tore it up in the AHL this year.
I know. I know. It's the
So
righty lefty thing. He
yeah,
that's what
so the answer to that is you put Carlson with Montour,
right.
and you put or you could put Forsling with Montour,
Right. Well,
and
look,
you could put Carlson with Gudis and Mahura with Stahl.
right.
I know it's left right, and you know I'm the biggest proponent
Right.
of the left right situation, but
Right. Right.
you got to improvise in situations like that.
Yeah.
Carlson should have been in that game, and I posted a tweet yesterday about not only this coach but the coach before. For whatever reason, Burnett didn't play Carlson either.
No, that's because we got Sherratt, and as soon as
So
Ekblad came out,
I just don't get it, man. What do they got against this kid? He's a
right?
good hockey player.
I know,
Um,
I know. So
listen,
look,
you're right. We could go down the list of things: the power play, or excuse me, the what?
jeez.
What's the opposite of power? The lack
Look,
of power play,
before I get
the
into that,
penalties. I mean, go down the list.
right here's my take on the Barkov thing. Okay, this will not be a popular take this morning. I kind of said it last night. If without Barkov, we don't make the playoffs. And the reason why we don't make the playoffs without Barkov is because of the insane number of times he's the one in the regular season, this season, coming back on the back check, breaking things up defensively. Okay, this team doesn't make the playoffs without. It's not a playoff roster without Barkov. He was a big part of why we made the playoffs. He's a big part of why we make the playoffs every year. He's also a big part of why we get eliminated so quickly in the playoffs every year. We need to set the roster so, and this is tough because of the salaries that we've given out to these three guys. In an optimum world, it's Bennett, Barkov,
Yeah,
and then Lundell and Luosterainen.
not an
And
optimal
Lundell
one.
needs
In
to,
a reality world, Bennett is your top guy. That Kachuk
yes,
and
and Verhaeghe.
Luciano line for me was the number one line.
Yeah,
Or Bennett, Kachuk, and
and
Verhaeghe.
Verhaeghe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the line.
So let's trade Ekblad and Barkov to Calgary. So Batman and Robin can be reunited. Uyghur and Ekblad could be reunited,
Oh my God.
and we get Zadorov and somebody else. Maybe we get Cole Schwint back
Ah,
and a first round pick.
and that first round pick. I like it. I like it. I'm in. Sure.
But I mean, you got three guys, $30 million.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Whatever,
I know.
27 and a half.
I know. Look, we knew it was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be a tall task. It's disappointing to lose both at home when they out Bergeron and remember, this is no Bergeron and no Krejci, and Barkov is still completely invisible. It
Yeah.
hasn't mattered the competition really. I mean, I guess he had a decent series against Washington. I'd have to look at the numbers. I could be wrong there. We won this series, so I wasn't hypercritical of anybody in that situation. But
it,
the other thing is, look, what the hell with just suddenly becoming the most penalized team in the league, and just like bad penalty after bad penalty after what in the F?
and they're not even smart penalties. They're moronic,
Right.
stupid, unnecessary cross checks, high sticks. I mean, I would like to know how many high stick penalties we took this year.
No, I think we
It's
led the
just
league.
carelessness with the stick. But the cross
Right.
checks, I mean, it's ridiculous. That the one that really just stands out in my mind is that the one on Montour, and then he turns to the ref like he holds his hands up like
I know. Well, I'm like, I
I
gotta
mean,
move this light.
dude,
Keep
it was
talking.
like 110% evident that you cross-checked the guy, and he was just standing there minding his own business.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know what.
we could just take away that nobody expected us to win this series.
Right.
Okay, I guess deep down, you and I really did not expect us to win, and if we won, it would be like
Right.
miracles on ice.
Exactly. The question, really, it's this for me. It's not even about this series, and it's about looking forward to next season and wondering what in the hell. Because, like you said, the other thing is the power play. I mean, this is why Bruno got fired, and it's worse now. It's consistently where Boston's getting their best chance. Like the goals we're giving up are kind of hard work-ish, kind of fluky goals. But the best chances that Boston is getting of the night is consistently on our power play. I mean, it's it's beyond bad.
I mean,
And the same,
look how ridiculously, I'm not going to say funny, but look how ridiculous that Taylor Hall goal where it was the alley-oop pass and it bounces and Gudis looks like,
right,
oh,
right,
what do I do? Oh, no. And it just bounces over him and he looks foolish. Hall goes right around him. And, of course, we know that he's scoring
yeah,
on that.
yeah,
And Bob looked ridiculous.
yeah.
I mean,
I know.
that's how you deke a goalie out of his freaking
Oh,
skates.
and he got deked. He got
So,
he got jobbed on
I
that
mean,
one.
I don't
Just
know what else to say. You
no,
know,
I know.
it's. I wish they hadn't made the playoffs because that would have saved us. You know, this Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, Mr. Hyde hadn't shown his face in 8 games. The
Right,
last 8 games, they always give us hope.
right.
We won that. We won that second game
Yeah,
pretty handily. I mean, it's not like we won a
right.
2-1 overtime. Could have went either way.
Yeah, yeah.
We dominated that game.
But look, Boston's coaches. I mean, I watched Boston media after that, and the coaches watched film, saw what went wrong, retooled the entire lineup,
Yep,
and they kicked our ass twice at home.
in front of
And
a sellout crowd.
right, right. But moving forward, look, I mean,
Well, that's what we should devote the last few minutes of this video because I don't want to even talk about. I'm so like I want to vomit after watching what I watched last night. I'm
there's going to
glad I
be a
didn't
lot
go.
of changes.
I didn't
There's
go
going
to
to
the
be
game. You know
right,
why I didn't go to the game? Because I had a feeling
right,
that's what I was going to see, and
right,
I didn't want to like schlep all the way down to Sunrise, only to leave and drive that long drive home,
right.
banging the steering wheel and like fuck as I normally do. You know, especially if I'm driving by myself.
Yeah,
It's a lonely,
yeah,
slow ride for me, even though I'm doing 80 miles an hour because I can't wait to get home and
right,
just, get in a bed.
right.
And I didn't watch, normally I would watch the NHL Network and hear what they had to say. There was nothing to say. We sucked the big fucking tomato last night,
Yeah.
yesterday, whatever. So
All right. Well,
we
look,
could talk about the reps. We could talk about you know what?
I mean, there's things that affect the game, but not to the point where it would have made a difference where we should win. You know,
We're not a good team, Eric.
nah, it's just, and that's kind of
We have glimpses of being a good team,
right,
but you pretty much got to do that, 75% of the time, not 25% of the time.
right. No, I
So
mean to have stolen one in Boston, all you got to do is win one at a two at home, and you even, and you're almost for sure going to 7 games. I really did think they were going to win yesterday. I thought they would, and just look, there's going to be a lot of changes this summer.
as there should be.
I don't think you'll see Duke on this team next year. I have a sneaking suspicion you're probably going to see Reinhardt moved because that's a lot of money for a guy that's basically a third line guy, a good third line guy, but he's been kind of inconsequentially invisible. You
I
know,
don't know. I don't know about that one. I disagree. I think we should keep Reinhardt. Duke,
remember he's on the last year of his contract anyway, bro. So unless you're going to re-sign him and give him
yep,
a
okay.
raise, you see what I'm saying?
Now,
Unless
Zito's very limited, and I'm saying very limited in the amount of moves he could make
right,
because he's got to get 2 deals done, and that's
right.
Forsling and Montour.
That's what I mean.
Everything else, just put everything else, way back down the list.
If he could
Forsling and
somehow,
Montour, it's got to get done
if he
somehow,
could
some way.
somehow move Duke and Reinhardt, it frees up 10 million.
And by the way, each of them are going to get $7 million.
He's talking about Forcing and Montour, by the way.
Right. I don't see
Not
them.
not not not
I
Duke and
don't see.
Reinhardt.
What's that?
Because I said Duke and Reinhardt, and I wanted
Yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah. No,
clear that you were talking. Yeah,
Forsling and Montour are going to get $7 million. I don't see them getting less.
no,
Montour might even ask for more.
right.
I mean, I put Montour in the elite category now, wouldn't you?
I mean, it's going to be hard to pay either one of those
73
guys.
points.
Right.
He could do a little bit more work on his defense. As Forsley could do a little better work on his offense.
Right.
But those are your number 1 and 2 defensemen.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, after watching last night, I don't know if signing Gudas is going to be.
I think if they was gonna, they would have.
That's what I'm saying. I'd love to see them prize a guy, either the guy Zadorov or a guy like him. A younger version of a mean-spirited Gudas that's got some offensive talent.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess maybe we'll do another video because we're already 30 minutes in, and let's talk about the retooling for next season.
Yeah, we got all summer. Believe me. What are we going to talk? It's going to be a long summer.
So that will probably.
But that's after we win Game 5.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a pip?
I mean, I'm only giving up because I know they'll win Game 5.
That confident with Alex Lyon in net, I hope.
With Alex, yeah, he's got to go back to Lyon now. And if he goes back to Lyon now, I mean, which he should, man, poor Bill Zito, he's got to be he's ordering all the narcotics right now because that dude's summer. I mean, is there any space we don't have huge question marks?
And screw hurting Bob's feelings, by the way.
Well,
for those that might say, whatever, there's no question in my mind that if Bob had only played like Vezina Bob yesterday and we stole that game,
yes,
and the series is tied, what a great story. But he didn't.
Right.
He kind of played like I thought he was going to play.
He played like a guy that hasn't played in a month.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty.
Right. All right.
Just like Spencer Knight played that first game that he came back and he hadn't played in so many games.
Right. All right, Panther fans, that's enough. That's enough abuse for this morning. I'll be back later on with the podcast. For those of you who are YouTube members, Patreon supporters, I do a 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday podcast where we just go stream of consciousness and dissect it all.
So for those that want to know who I'm now rooting for, okay, I am going to be rooting for the New York Rangers, who I think have a good chance of winning it all, and the LA Kings.
That's right.
West, even though they lost,
I can't believe it.
I was just checking the score because I didn't stay up for the end of that game. I don't even know what happened in that game. I was actually watching the Stars in the Wild.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Stars squeaked it out. So both of those series are tied up.
Right.
But, yeah, they're playing at the Garden tonight, and they're up 2-1. And watch Vinny Trocheck get a couple of goals tonight. See, that's going to be the one of those.
Yeah.
Vinny Trocheck's going to, he's going to do something. Yeah. Maybe not so much in this game, but Vinny Trocheck is going to, his name, you're going to be hearing his name. It's just like a little, let's just rub it in the Panthers' face a little bit more.
Whoa, wait till, I mean, if that happens, I mean, if it all happens, if the Rangers win the whole thing, we should get a picture of Gallant holding the cup
Oh yeah,
And
forgot
get
about
an
him.
8x10 with a nice frame and send one each to Vinny and one to Doug.
Well, I could
I'll
see
do it.
I could see Gallant posing with the cup on the roof of the yellow cab with the door open, and he's pointing to the cup.
Yeah, and Trocheck is photo bombing him, like, right? that would be, shit. The sad part is that's not impossible to happen. So, all right, Panther fans, we've put you through enough abuse now. I'll see you guys later with the podcast. We appreciate all the support.